I'm tired of walking on eggshells around my BF-42 while he wields threats like, if you're upset, I'll break up with you. After getting mad over a pea-soaked towel, I ended up apologizing for my feelings. Is it me or his toxic behavior that needs to change? For context, the most recent incidents, although they have been occurring for years since we got together in 2016. I went to take a shower and discovered that he had left a towel soaked with urine on the bathroom floor. I realized it by smelling it and stepping on it simultaneously. It was very wet. Apparently, one of the dogs had an accident and he used the towel to clean it up. However, he then just left the towel on the floor, stained and odorous. I am a very neat and clean person. I cannot tolerate such things. They make me feel sick. I was so shocked that I picked it up with my fingertips, showed it to him, and raised my voice to ask, "Did you leave this in there?" It was incredibly disgusting. So yes, I did create a fuss because that is unacceptable and I stepped in it. He responded by telling me that I should never, ever yell at him again. He then attempted to force his way into the bathroom. He apologized to me the next morning, but only after insisting that I apologize to him for being upset at all. I had to say I was sorry for ever being grossed out and upset in the first place because I should have understood that it was an accident and I should have remained calm. I claimed I overreacted, but I could not bring myself initially to say that I was wrong for being angry at all. He appeared to hold this against me. He holds grudges a lot. You might think everything is fine, but it turns out he is still upset about something that happened weeks ago and acts like he cannot even touch you or make eye contact. He is so angry, and yes, it will often be over something trivial like, "You got mad at me after I left a urine-soaked towel in the bathroom." I did apologize for ever being angry to begin with, but it must have been too late. I have a dishwasher in my house. My boyfriend refuses to use it and instead just stacks his dishes in the sink and never touches them again. A few weeks ago, I told my boyfriend and our roommate I was not angry at the time or anything, that I would not be doing anyone else's dishes in our house anymore since it was consuming my time and it was not really my responsibility. Everyone was accountable for their own. All they had to do was load the dishwasher, except he used a wok at one point that requires hand washing. It is not a big deal, just do your dishes. The roommate has been good about it, but my boyfriend keeps leaving his dishes unwashed in the sink. The sink is now filled to the brim with dirty dishes. That wok has been sitting there for a week, and there are so many dirty dinner plates stacked that we have no clean ones left in the cupboards, and we cannot use the air fryer because he got the trays all dirty and will not wash them. And it smells like old grease and burnt food. I need the sink to clean the house. I have asked him nicely to do his dishes God knows how many times, and he just keeps saying he is too busy. The night before last, he told me he would take care of it the next day after work, after previously saying he would do it that day. The next day after work, yesterday, he decided to go to a bar to watch the game instead. I had to have asked him at least 3 times this week alone to do his dishes. I thought it would finally be resolved until he left to watch the game instead. Again, I ended up texting him that at this point I might as well throw the dishes out. I am at my wit's end here. He told me he was going to do it and then just ignored that promise. I hate being a nag. We might as well start using paper plates at this point and get rid of the old dishes because we need them to cook and eat, and if they are always dirty in the sink, then we cannot use them. I am tired of being disrespected like that. I just wanted it done, and I had been repeatedly told it would be, and it just never happened. It is the same with everything around the house. I take care of everything. I do all the housework. He does nothing but add to it. And I feel as if he views me as an invisible servant at times. He responded by telling me that I did not want to provoke him that night, and then that he was tired of my passive-aggressive drama and that he was breaking up with me right then and there. He does this frequently. No matter what he has done, I am portrayed as the bad guy for being upset about it, and then he decides I am dramatic and toxic and that I need to go. Other things he has done this with. He took my car out drunk driving without my permission, ended up running over a curb downtown at 3:00 a.m. and wrecked the wheel at a time when I was job hunting and needed reliable transportation. He abandoned the car downtown. He never paid to repair the wheel and my family had to cover 300. I was upset, but it was made clear early on that I had better not be too mad about it or talk about it. I had to swallow my rage on that one, and he still takes my car without my permission. He quit his job multiple times and made me the primary breadwinner. I was not allowed to be angry about this either, despite the fact that we were living in dire circumstances. And he would go months and months without a job because he literally believed it would be beneath him to apply for most of them. If I ever expressed any frustration with this situation, he threatened to break up and started throwing his things into a bag. He was driving my car while I was in the passenger seat. He almost missed an exit, so he slammed on the brakes at high speed, made a sharp turn, and hit another curb, costing me my hubcap and slightly damaging the wheel this time. I instinctively yelled, "What on earth are you doing?" when it happened, like anyone would during a car accident. His response was to pull over, order me out of the car, and demand that I drive by dragging me to the driver's side. I was berated for shouting to the point that I was in tears. He never paid for the new hubcap despite stating that he would. He wanted to go to a bar. I expressed multiple times that I did not want to go. I was in the exact opposite frame of mind and absolutely was not up for it. I just wanted a quiet night at home. He kept insisting and nagging me until I finally gave in, but I did not enjoy it because I truly did not want to be there at all. He was furious that I did not have a good time. When I pointed out that I had never wanted to go in the first place, and was honestly annoyed that he pressured me so much for something I said I did not want to do, and then seemed to blame me for not enjoying myself, bam. Here come the breakup threats. He threatens to break up with me if I am angry about him spending money at bars, which prevents us from paying the bills. He threatens to break up with me if I am upset about him leaving messes all over the house that he never cleans up, or if he says he is going to do something and then just never follows through, no matter how many times I ask. He threatens to break up with me if I express concern about his drinking. I am not allowed to be upset about anything without him turning it into how he is the real victim and I am the evildoer. I feel like I am walking on eggshells, constantly having to wear a happy face and be pleasant and patient with everything, regardless of what it is. It is as if I have to agree to be lied to and taken advantage of in those situations. Otherwise, I am a bad person. My feelings are never acknowledged. It is all about how he feels. I told him last night regarding the dishes, I am just so tired of being disrespected like this. I work so hard to create a good household, and being treated as if my obligations towards him do not matter is a terrible feeling. He ignored everything I said and instead made it about how I should not dare question him when he works, and he is busy, and that I am just so dramatic. I have had countless instances with him where I have pointed out something profoundly wrong he has done, and it concludes with me sobbing and begging for forgiveness while he berates me and tells me he is done with me for ever complaining. And he never lets anything go. Even if I had a valid reason to be upset, he never thinks I do. He will hold on to it for weeks, months, or even years. One time he held a grudge against me that lasted almost 2 years because he drunkenly attempted to fight his way into a room I was in after he falsely accused me of throwing a pillow at him. I simply placed it on the bed to sleep. So I do not understand where that accusation originated. And now he considers himself the victim because I did not particularly enjoy that experience and discussed it with others. So when I think we have reconciled and made amends, so to speak, it turns out he is still holding my alleged transgressions against me. Or even after I have apologized, he enjoys telling me that he does not know if he can ever forgive me and that he is still very angry about it. I just feel like I am never allowed to have any negative emotions regardless of what he has done. I always have to apologize simply for feeling wronged. He explodes with rage and I always have to plead for forgiveness. I am beginning to realize that while I may have recently overreacted a bit due to all this built-up frustration, his behavior is also very toxic, isn't it? Or am I still the bad guy here? He is permitted to yell at me all he wants, but I cannot express anything like that towards him. He is not a bad person. I do love him. He has been my partner for 8.5 years. We have built a life together. But I am exhausted by this moodiness, having all my faults constantly pointed out and my natural reactions being portrayed as drama while he seems to have no issues whatsoever, at least none that we are allowed to discuss. I wish I could communicate this to him, but I know it will result in him becoming angrier and angrier for me ever saying anything and lashing out, making me out to be the bad guy. Story 2. Stuck in a 6-year relationship with a boyfriend who wants to get married but shows zero effort. Why can't you treat me that way? I'm torn between a future and the fear of failing. Can I push him to change, or is it time to finally move on? To summarize, I have been in a relationship with my boyfriend for 6 years. I created a list of advantages and disadvantages, but I am overwhelmed with the fear of failing in this relationship. I seek guidance on how to move forward or how to better encourage him to change. Hello, I am a longtime observer of this forum. I am reaching out because I need advice. I am a 26-year-old female who has been in a relationship with my 26-year-old male boyfriend for nearly 6 years. We both work in the same demanding field, which takes a toll on our bodies, time, and energy. We met in college and began dating during our sophomore year. We are currently at a point where everyone incessantly asks us when we are getting engaged. Being a woman, I often receive inquiries regarding why he is not committing and where my ring is, among other questions. I want to marry him. I desire a complete life together. However, I am not prepared for it yet. I aim to protect myself. I may be rambling, but here is my list. Advantages: he is a good person. He possesses strong values. We share similar interests such as exercising and trying new foods. He has a pleasant family and they seem to like me. Disadvantages: I am significantly more outgoing than he is. I am always trying to achieve something. He could spend his entire life at home after work doing nothing and be content with the status quo. I aspire to accomplish more. He does not defend me when others disrespect me. I have 4 separate examples where 4 different people have disrespected me and he did not stand up for me. We discussed each situation and he acknowledged my feelings, stating it would not happen again, yet it feels like every incident is a completely new lesson for him. Just support me, please. He frequently passes gas around me. While I understand that this is a natural bodily function, he finds it amusing to do so in my presence, despite me clearly expressing my discomfort. He struggles with anger management. He experiences road rage more intensely than anyone I know, which scares me, as I worry he might lash out while driving and cause an accident. If he stubs his toe, he yells loudly and curses, which is unsettling. He does not make any plans. We started dating in October, and even before that, 6 years ago, I intended to buy him a watch he desired. For Christmas, he gave me chocolate and forgot to purchase the main gift, a bobblehead, ordering it on Christmas Eve. He has never planned a date or anything special for us. He expresses a desire to marry, but takes literally no action toward that goal. He only responds to prompts. We have an argument every 2 weeks because I plead with him to make plans. When he does plan a date, it is almost identical to previous outings I organized, meaning there is no real planning involved. He does not make future plans for us either. He claims he only envisions a future with me, which I believe, but I think that is because I am a driven person while he can comfortably relax. I do not trust him. His word seems to hold no value, and I communicate this to him frequently. He usually just remains silent, nodding or acknowledging my feelings. He lies to me often. Once, at a baseball game, he went to get a beer and I asked him to request a glass of water if it was complimentary. He returned without the water, and when I inquired about it, he claimed they did not have any. Trusting my instincts, I asked if he had even asked for it, and he confessed that he had not. I recognize this is a minor deception, but it highlights a major issue in our relationship. I cannot trust him. Another instance occurred when he was in a class with a girl who has been unkind to me. He was sitting right next to her. He never mentioned her when discussing his class, and when I confronted him about it, he admitted to intentionally omitting her from his stories. His older brother recently married at an expensive resort overseas, and I was thrilled to attend. His parents offered to cover the accommodation, leaving me only responsible for the plane ticket, which still cost $800, a significant amount for me. Ultimately, I chose not to go based on the principle that I do not trust him, even though I wanted to go desperately. We argued extensively, and he expressed that he did not want to attend alone. I ended up going and had an enjoyable time, but I constantly regret that decision. He is inconsistent. We argue roughly every 2 weeks, where I clearly outline what I need: greater effort in planning for us, monthly meetings to discuss our relationship, finances, schedules, and whatever else. He never follows through. He lacks personal goals. I have to push him hard to venture outside his comfort zone. He speaks in broad terms, saying he wants to go into project management without taking any concrete steps toward that goal. What does that mean to him? He has no hobbies. We both graduated from a good college, and I know he is intelligent, but he spends all his free time scrolling mindlessly on Instagram. He does not take care of me on his own. He only attends to my needs when I ask him or when he feels guilty about something. Then, he makes grand statements about how he does not deserve me and how wonderful I am. Why can he not treat me that way consistently? He constantly gives me excuses. Despite his job requiring critical thinking, he fails to engage in it effectively, preferring to brute force through situations. I ask him not to give me excuses, but he continues. We work in the same profession, yet I strive to maintain a balanced life, with many interests outside of work, while he exclusively talks about his job. From what I hear, we earn the same salary. He is not particularly proficient at it. Since it is a male-dominated field, I believe he wants to excel, but based on his work approach, I would not want to collaborate with him. I have suggested he seek therapy. Yet again, he is inconsistent. He mentioned he would speak with a pastor from home, which is acceptable, but I am almost certain that never occurred. He suffers from severe stomach issues, likely related to irritable bowel syndrome, yet he does nothing to address them. Our profession requires us to be physically fit. While he is not necessarily unfit, he does not eat healthily. He is inconsistent with his diet and douses his food in numerous condiments, which he admits are harming his cholesterol and exacerbating his stomach problems. They tend to worsen right before we engage in activities he does not want to do, like attending garage sales. He insists that our issues stem solely from having different love languages. His primary love language is physical touch, possibly words of affirmation. However, I feel disgusted when he touches me, and why would I affirm his behavior when he constantly lies and remains inconsistent? He consistently maintains a negative attitude. When I point this out, he denies it, saying, "No, I do not." What am I supposed to do with that? He has a pessimistic outlook on everything. In summary, it has been nearly 6 years. I feel as though I have endured heartbreak for 4 out of those 6 years. However, I find it challenging to leave because my entire family and his would be incredibly disappointed or angry with me and I would feel like a failure. I care for him deeply. I constantly think about him, our relationship, and our future. I feel let down daily. I am uncertain about what I am asking for, but I genuinely seek help. Additional details. We live together with a roommate. I own the house which I purchased a few years ago independently. He pays me rent and has his own room.